Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the debut record from Smackbound 2020, out June 12th on Frontiers Music. The album has 10 tracks and is 41 minutes in length. This is a very eclectic record, pulling influences from different genres. I really feel like the overall soundscape of the album is one that mixes hard rock with pop, blues, and modern metal. The common denominator that drives this album together, that keeps this record together, is definitely Netta's vocals. She's that glue, she's that red line that goes across every single song, allowing this to be one concise album and not just a collection of tracks. As you start diving deeper into the record, the first thing that you notice is the overall structure of the album. I love the fluidity that it has, I love how dynamic it is, and I love the playability that it gives to the record. This is an album that does a great job alternating styles of tracks in order to create not a roller coaster ride, but definitely peaks and valleys throughout the album. It doesn't become repetitive at all because after each song you get something different. You get a different style, you get a different approach, you get a different sound, you get a different delivery. This allows the listener to stay engaged with the record, track after track after track, and not really fall into a pattern of songs that have the same feel, the same sound, that would become perhaps a little bit too much to bear on an album that is this dynamic, on an album that has this kind of sound and this kind of eclectic approach to it. So I really like the overall structure. To me, it adds a very important dynamic aspect to the overall sound and to the overall experience of the listener. As you go beyond the structure and deeper into the record, I feel like you have to break it down into three main elements: guitars, keyboards, and vocals. As far as guitars are concerned, when you have Temmo from Winter Sun on guitars, right away you're already starting from a much higher level. You're already starting ahead of the game, if you will. He brings a sense of knowledge, understanding, knowing exactly what the songs need and delivering exactly what it's asked of him. Not necessarily bringing his own style or his own approach, but understanding what the songs require of him and then delivering the best possible riff, the best possible melody, the best possible solo in order to overall enhance the song and to overall give the song the life that it needs. I love the guitar work on the record. I felt like it was extremely well done. Track after track, you really feel the quality of the work. And as far as solos are concerned, he did a magnificent job understanding the dynamics of the track, understanding the style, the influence that that song had, and then go with a solo that represented that song all the way through, musically and also in terms of how the vocals and the lyrics come together in the track. Really important, in my opinion, to understand those dynamics in order for you to have a successful song and in order for you to be able to construct a solo that magnifies the track, that doesn't break the track apart. As far as keyboards are concerned, to me, they added two different elements. They added a symphonic element, they added a melodic element, and to me, those two really create the necessary soundscape to really elevate some of the songs, really pushing the boundaries of genres, really pushing the overall sound, extending the sound, and some songs making the songs almost cinematic at times. I really love the overall keyboard work, because in some songs they put it more in the forefront, was more noticeable, was one of the driving forces, and some other tracks they pushed it back a little bit, they moved it more into the background, creating more of an underlayer, an undercoat to the song in order to create the necessary melody, but not to be the focal point of the song. Once again, really understanding the dynamics of the tracks and really understanding what the song called for and what the influences of that track dictated. Last but not least, the vocals. I already touched on that, and I already said that Netta's vocals are the glue that holds the whole album together. She is the driver, she's the president, she's the director, she's the dictator of this record. Everything is built around her. Her voice is the focal point. Her voice is really the driving force, the heartbeat of the album. Every single song showcases her talent. Every single song is designed around her, so everything else is there in order to elevate her voice and to really allow her to shine and to really move the songs forward and dictate the mood, the overall atmosphere that the tracks have. I loved her voice on this album. As much as the album is eclectic from a sound perspective and with all the influence that it has, her voice also changes ever so slightly as far as the delivery is concerned and even as far as her range goes in terms of what the song dictated. Once again, really understanding what the style of the track is, what you're trying to achieve with that song, and then just changing ever so slightly some small variations in order to get the most out of the track. This, in my opinion, is an album that is very modern sounding. It has a very modern sound to it, but it still has a little bit of an old school feel. So it really merges those two worlds of rock and roll with a more modern touch of metal, with a lot of keyboards, a lot of orchestration built into the mix. So I really like the overall style of the record. I really like how it feels. It's a great album. It really shows the quality of the work, but perhaps more important, it shows the quality of the musicians that are in the group. That is evident throughout all 10 songs, and is evidence of the result, the final result, that is the overall incredible sound and incredible quality that this record has. I really feel like this is an album that is going to leave a lot of people salivating for more. So I think this is the beginning. This is not just a one-time deal. This really feels to me that just the first door has opened. There will be many more doors to go as far as this band is concerned. Now, as far as songs goes, I want to start off with Close to Sober. I really like this track. It opens up with Netta's vocals and a beautiful piano melody, and you feel like the song is gaining momentum from the moment it starts. There's this crescendo feeling to it, and you feel like it's going to culminate with the chorus. Once it reaches the chorus, it absolutely explodes with melody and sound. It becomes a lot bigger. It's a song that just gains a lot more volume. The orchestration in the chorus really pushes the song forward and really elevates Netta's vocals as well. It really creates this sense of growing and really becoming larger than the track itself, almost feeling very cinematic at times, specifically in that chorus. It's just a song that has a lot of symphonic elements, and when you add those to the overall sound of the track, and then when you have Netta's vocals on top of it, it's a song that just always feels like it's growing, it's expanding, and when it does expand, specifically in the chorus, like I said, it feels very cinematic. I love the somber aspect that the song has, the more dark emotional aspect of the song, but I really love how it explodes, how it grows, and how it grows on you as a listener. Beautiful song from beginning to end, really well constructed and really well delivered. Next, Those Who Burn, one of the heavier tracks on the album. The guitars have a lot more of a bite on this song. They really give the song more of a metal edge, if you will, a more of a metal sound. The vocals also have a little bit of a different twist to it. The vocal intensity drops a little bit in the pre-chorus, coming from the verses into the pre-chorus. You feel like the vocals have a lot more power, more energy in the verses, dropping a little bit, just a little bit of intensity in the pre-chorus, and then exploding into the chorus. So I really like that dynamic approach, because musically the song does not fluctuate as much, so giving a different nuance into how the vocals come across really creates those peaks and valleys without having to change too much around the track. I love that. It's the vocals that give the song that roller coaster ride of a feel, not necessarily the music behind it. So giving the music a little bit more of a stable, more of a linear path, and allowing the vocals to be the one that really pulls the strings on where this song is going to go. I really enjoy that. I also like that there's a little bit more heaviness as far as the drums are concerned in the chorus. They have a little bit more strength, and that adds a little bit of more weight to the song. It expands the sound of the song, making it a little bit heavier overall, making the song a little bit heavier as well. The guitar solo is very mellow, and that was a surprise to me. I was expecting a song that has this more guitar bite, that has this more energetic feel to it, for the solo to come in and be like one of those old school guitar solos that just absolutely explodes. It just goes all over the place with incredible lines, very flourished. And that's not what we got on the solo. So at first glance, it really shocked me that the solo kind of brings the mood of the song down. It really resets the track. It changes the complete perspective of the song, brings the mood down. It becomes a little bit more somber, more calm. But what that does is it allows the chorus that comes after, that closes off the song, to absolutely feel 10 times bigger, to feel 10 times heavier. So while at first glance it felt like the solo didn't belong there, having a solo that changes this much of the dynamic of the song really enhances all the strength, all the heaviness that there was before, and makes everything that comes after feel 100 times bigger, 100 times heavier. So in hindsight, now looking back into the track, I totally understand why that solo was there, because it really ignites the song. It really gives the song the dynamic changes that it needed. If you went with the same style solo as the song had, then the two kind of blend in together, and then you don't have that break, you don't have that reset button that the song needed towards the end in order to close off on a strong note. Next, Troublemaker. This to me is a pure rock and roll song with a very southern twang to it. Also very bluesy. It has a little bit of a blues vibe to it, and I really like that mix of old school rock and roll with blues. Works really well in this song. It has a great sound. It has a great delivery, both musically and vocally. I just love how this overall song sounds. Like I said, has a very throwback rock and roll sound, very old school feel to it. And it moves and it blends. As the song progresses, you start to feel like the track started off more feeling like an old school rock and roll song, but as the song moves along, starts to become a little bit more modern, a little bit more metal, if you will. But never really losing that southern twang, never really losing that rock and roll feel that it has. The solo is incredible on this track. Here's a different approach. A song that has great dynamic, that has a great sound, like I said, has a throwback sound. Temo went with a guitar solo that pulled the melody that the song had and it reignited it. So the way the solo starts, it feels like just the melody of the song. It feels like he just picked up where the riff left off, and then he allowed the solo to grow from there and to expand its sound, to expand its horizon, and to become a little bit bigger, a little bit more dynamic. I love how the solo sounds on this song, and I love what the solo does to this track, becoming one of my favorite solos on the album because of how it's interconnected, intermingled with the DNA of the song itself. And then the chorus has so much energy, and finishing off with the chorus, and the chorus is very hooky because it has this one line that's really easy to remember and easy to sing along. So I really like the fact that after that solo you move into the chorus and then close off the track like that. Perfect way to close off a song that has this old school structure and old school sound to it. This is it, guys. This is Smackbound with 2020. Once again, out June 12th on Frontiers Music. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.